Hello guys, welcome to my Sindhi kitchen. We are actually making stuffed lotus stem pakoda. Hey man, welcome to Vicky's Sindhi kitchen. Okay, mom, this entire series is dedicated to you. Actually, not mom, the entire Ratnani ladies and my Nani and all her incredible sisters, who I think subconsciously laid out that I had to be a cook someday because I grew up eating their food and they were just amazing. Now, one such vegetable, I would say a root or a stem, is very, very significant with the whole Sindhi community. It's called the bhe. We call it bhi, which is the lotus stem, and it is incredible. And it's called also kamal kakdi, which is laden with dirt. Okay, it's muddy. So literally you have to scrub it, wash it, peel it, and soak it overnight. And this is what you get. These lovely, amazing. And this has a very meaty texture. We do incredible stuff with it. In fact, in one of the episodes you must have seen or you will see is how I cook a fantastic mutton along with this lotus stem. Now, for a vegetarian or a vegan, if they want to do a really nice tivan, that is a mutton but Sindhi style, and if you don't eat meat, you don't need mushrooms. This, after cooking along with some potatoes and my Sindhi masala, we are just gonna kill it. Now, before we get any further, you can cook this very slow. You can cook it in a pressure cooker. You can cook it in a clay pot. I'm going to be using the pressure cooker. So now, for the pakodas, okay, we have to first cook the lotus stem. So I would say about 3 to 4 CTs. Why did I cut it like this? No, I'm going to actually cut them into pieces like this. Okay, just like this. So I'll tell you why, because these are going to be stuffed with an incredible chutney. Okay, so this way, and one more piece like this, and incredible. So I've got these 3, which I want to try something else. No problemo. We're going to cut this in half. We're going to do a fantastic chutney. Okay, a nice green garlic chutney. It's time for green garlic. If you don't have green garlic, you can also use any other kind of garlic. So I'm going to be making a lovely green garlic chutney, stuffing it inside the lotus stem, after which it's going to be made in an incredible gluten-free batter, which is made with besan and rice flour. Let's start cooking. So approximately I'm actually cooking about 750 grams of scrubbed, peeled and cleaned lotus stem, ya bhi. I'm going to be adding a little bit of water and this, of course. And then mom used to say that if you want your lotus stem to cook evenly and quicker, either you put a Sindhi papad inside, I don't know what happens, but she also said, Vicky, you can also add a little bit of oil in this when you're cooking. Okay, along with this I'm going to be adding a little bit of salt. Okay, not too much, buddy, because you don't want it to be too salty, do you? Perfecto. So pehle maine kya kiya, I've got all my chutney ka ingredients ready. Okay, I'm starting off by cooking this lotus stem. While this is cooking, 2-3 सीटी 10-15 मिनट में तब तक मेरी filling हो जाएगी. Then my batter will be also ready. Perfecto. Okay. So this like little meticulous planning, or at least thinking what to do in terms of time, कितना time लगता है. Like अगर आपको lotus भी बनाना है तो think about it the day before, because you have to soak it in water for all the dirt to come out. Okay. It is muddy. Okay. So while we have our bhi, which is cooking inside, I'm going to be making a really nice marination or a filling. I call it a marination. Yes, you could also use this incredible green masala to marinate paneer, meat, vegetables. It makes a great pesto as well if you wish, a green garlic pesto. So I've got a small bunch, about 50 grams of green garlic fresh. I've got about 3 green chilies here. I've got some coriander. Okay, I would say like about 20-30 grams of fresh coriander in this, to which I'm going to be adding a little bit of salt. I'm going to be adding like half a teaspoon of dhania powder. I'm adding half a teaspoon of amchur. Okay, I'm adding just a little bit of turmeric. Perfecto. Done. Now we don't want to make this too thin. We want to make it almost like a coarse paste, because we have to dab and kind of fill the lotus stem inside. Great. So into this, I'm going to be adding literally a tablespoon and a half of water. Okay, just to get the blend going. Perfecto. Lovely paste ready, just as we said. It's not too smooth, it's not too watery, because remember, what did we say? We have to be smearing this into our lotus stem. So you can see it's nice and thick. Okay, it's not runny at all. A beautiful, exactly like a Sindhi style chutney. So we're going to be adding this here. Okay. So we've got about half a cup, which is about 125 grams of besan. We've got 1/4 of a cup, which is about 80 grams, okay, of rice flour. To this we're going to be adding half a teaspoon of ajwain, half a teaspoon of red chili powder, half a teaspoon of turmeric, 1 teaspoon of salt, a little bit of amchur, thoda sa मैं डाल लेता हूँ. Perfecto. Half a teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda. Perfecto. Now along with this, we're going to make it a nice batter, to which we're going to be adding some water. The idea is to have a nice coating consistency, which I will tell you what I'm talking about. So let's bring this together. Beautiful. So as you can see, if you've noticed, if you remember, that is, we had about 125 grams of besan. We had about 75 grams of rice flour. And then we have about 250 ml of water. Okay. This is the liquid, and then of course the seasonings you must have seen as well. So now I'm just going to let this sit for a while, just like this. Beautiful. Oh, 3 whistles gone. So 1 more whistle to go, and then we're going to switch it off. So as you can see, you've got a fabulous consistency going here. Okay. Now, when I talk to you about a coating consistency, okay, this is what I'm talking about. Just give me a second. I'm going to be with you right now. So I've got this lovely batter going here. Outstanding. Okay, lovely. Now, when we are looking at a coating oh God. Great. So I've switched it off. I'm going to let it subside, the pressure subside, before we open it. So this is what I talk about time management. Chutney ban gayi, batter ban gaya, iska bhi kaam ho gaya. So all 3 going in tandem. Okay. So now, when I talk about coating consistency, this is what we call a coating consistency. Okay. Now, if you dip the batter and it coats, okay, and it's running a little bit, this is exactly what a coating consistency is. But anything you dip inside, because at the end of the day, it has to coat the food, okay? Nice. After 3 to 4 whistles, we have a winner. So this is exactly what we are going to do. We cut it. So the idea is that your chutney, jo hai, it can't be too watery, okay? It has to be almost like a paste, like consistency, okay? Correct? So that it makes an incredible sandwich, okay? So the rest, you just kind of, whatever comes out, just goes in here, okay? So this is what we are looking for. It's frying time, as we all can see. So now, generally जब मैं batter बनाता हूँ, before we start using it, I mean, I've whisked it, you can even strain it if you wish. But what I like to do is I like to manually feel. Okay, so see, it's coating my fingers. If it's coating my fingers, okay, it's going to coat this as well, okay? And we are not looking like for a very heavy, thick batter types, you know, just nicely coated ones, it should be good, okay? And also what happens is that when you are moving your fingers through this, the good old way, the Indian way, a whisk doesn't really exist in an Indian kitchen. हम सिर्फ most of the time हाथ से करते हैं ये. And how do you test if your oil is hot? Let me have a look. Come. So here I put the oil on hot. Now I'll just. Okay. So I think our batter is kind of ready. So while this is happening here, in the meanwhile, हम इसको अच्छी तरह डाल देते हैं. Make sure that you are a little careful and gentle with this. Okay. I'm going to be frying about 4 to 5 pieces at a time. Be a little gentle with this, please. Okay, we roll it in this. Nice. And then we easily drop this. So we've got these really nice, crunchy, beautifully cooked, stuffed bhi tikkis or pakodas. I would call it a pakoda actually. You know why not? Pakoda hi banayenge, pakode, pakode shakode. Great. So we've got a really nice texture. It's beautiful. Now, actually, mom never used to use any rice flour. Okay, you look at traditional. My favorite Sindhi chef outside my family is Alka Keswani. She has a beautiful site called Sindhi Rasoi. I learn a lot from it because as I'm traveling, I love to read about her. She's an incredible lady, and Alka Keswani, this is for you. Stuffed bhi pakoda, ready. Amazing. Amazing textures. You know, the outer layers nice and crispy. Then you bite into this real meatiness, umami of the lotus stem, and boom, suddenly the center. It's like the center of the universe with some amazing green garlic chutney. I hope you enjoyed this recipe. Do like, do share, and long live the Sindhis. We love you. This is to all the Sindhis around the world. Sabhi Cho Jhulelah!